The brutal and often shocking treatment of captive women by Native American tribes is a dark chapter of history that many are unaware of. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we explore a side of history seldom discussed: the fate of women taken captive during violent encounters with Native American tribes. While some were treated with surprising dignity, others endured unspeakable horrors. Let's uncover the untold stories of their suffering and survival. In the context of the often turbulent and violent interactions between Native American tribes and early European settlers, the treatment of captives, especially women, offers a unique and frequently overlooked perspective. This topic dives into the practices and experiences of women who were taken as prisoners during conflicts between Native Americans and European colonists. We aim to shed light on the treatment of these women, examining both the challenges and the surprising aspects of their experiences. The role of captives in Native American tribes. The clashes between Native American tribes and colonizing settlers were often marked by violent encounters, where both sides experienced the loss of life, the capture of prisoners, and the spilling of blood. While most historical narratives focus on the brutality of these interactions from the perspective of the colonists, it's essential to understand the Native American viewpoint, especially regarding their treatment of captives. Native American tribes often had their own codes of conduct and strategies for handling prisoners, with distinct approaches that varied from tribe to tribe. This episode explores one specific aspect of this complex history: how Native American societies treated women who were captured during raids or wars. It is crucial to acknowledge that captives, regardless of their origins, whether from rival tribes or settler communities, were often treated according to a set of social rules and customs that were quite different from those found in European or settler societies. In this analysis, we'll delve into how captive women were often seen not merely as prisoners, but also as individuals who could be integrated into Native American life, sometimes with unexpected outcomes. The fates of captive women. Dignified and pitiful outcomes. When European settlers and Native American tribes clashed, the outcomes for captured individuals could vary significantly. While some captives were subjected to unimaginable hardships, others found their new roles within Native communities to be surprisingly dignified. The fate of these captives was heavily influenced by the specific practices of the tribe involved, the status of the captives themselves, and whether the captives chose to assimilate into their new communities or attempted to escape. For women, the fate after being captured could range from humiliating hardship to a life of dignity and even respect. One of the most notable elements of captivity was the treatment of women, which was far from uniform. The process of captivity often began with the immediate loss of their families, followed by various roles within their captors' communities. A significant portion of Native American tribes had a practice of adopting captives, including women, into their societies. Contrary to the often brutal treatment or exploitation expected of captives in many European narratives, many tribes viewed captives as potential new members of their communities. Young women who were captured and brought into Native societies were frequently treated with a great deal of respect. In many cases, particularly among tribes like the Comanches, young girls were revered for their beauty, fertility, and the potential to carry on the tribe's lineage. One of the most famous cases of a captured woman who rose to prominence within her captor's tribe was Cynthia Ann Parker. Captured as a toddler during a Comanche raid, she was raised within the tribe, eventually marrying the chief and becoming the mother of Quanah Parker, the last great leader of the Comanches. Although Cynthia Ann was eventually recovered by her original family, she repeatedly attempted to escape and return to her Comanche life. Her story demonstrates that, for many women, life with Native Americans was not seen as inferior to the life they had left behind with European settlers. In fact, for some, it offered greater respect and freedom. The difficulties and resistance. Struggles for freedom. Not all captive women embrace their new roles within Native societies. For many, especially those who had been adolescents at the time of their capture, The trauma of losing their families and homes was overwhelming. Some resisted their captors fiercely, and there are numerous accounts of women attempting to escape or exact revenge on the tribes that had taken them. One such example is Matilda Lockhart, a young girl captured by the Comanches. At just 13 years old, Matilda harbored a deep hatred for her captors, and when the opportunity arose, she instigated a violent altercation at a Native American gathering. This incident shed light on the fact that many captives, particularly women, were being held by the Comanches and other tribes under similar circumstances. In Native American culture, violence against women and girls was generally frowned upon. While male captives might face torture or death, women were often treated with a higher degree of respect and were more likely to be ransomed, adopted, or integrated into the tribe's social structure. In fact, many tribes had strict codes of conduct that forbade the mistreatment of female captives. The moral codes of these societies did not condone violence against women, and in many cases, captives were treated with compassion once they were integrated into their captor's tribe. This cultural stance on women is crucial to understanding the distinction between the violent and often exploitative treatment of women by European settlers and the more respectful approach adopted by many Native American tribes. Ransoming and adoption. The value of captive women. In many cases, women who were captured were considered valuable commodities, and their fate was often linked to their potential for ransom or integration into the tribe. Captive women, especially those who were young and healthy, were seen as desirable assets for both their fertility and their potential to strengthen the tribe's social and economic position. Women were often ransomed by their families or other groups, either by paid ransom or as part of peace treaties between different tribes, or between Native American groups and European settlers. This practice of ransoming captives was a significant aspect of Native American tribal diplomacy, and it reflects a different approach from the more exploitative or brutal attitudes seen in colonial settler societies. One example of this was the Oatman sisters, Olive and Marianne, who were captured during the notorious Oatman massacre. After the massacre, the sisters were taken by members of the Yavapai tribe and forced to endure harsh treatment, including hard labor and physical punishment. However, when the Mojave tribe later came into contact with the Yavapai, the sisters were ransomed and brought into a completely different social setting. The Mojave treated them with respect and eventually adopted them into their tribe, even giving them tattoos to signify their new status. This story of the Oatman sisters demonstrates the complex and sometimes paradoxical nature of captivity in Native American societies. While some captives faced mistreatment, others were fully integrated into their captor's tribe, receiving care, protection, and respect as new members of the community. The experience of reconciliation and resettlement. The eventual release or escape of captives often led to a period of adjustment. For women who had been adopted into Native American tribes, returning to European society was not always a straightforward or welcomed process. The story of Olive Oatman is one such example. After being ransomed from the Mojave tribe, Olive was returned to her family. However, she struggled to reintegrate into the settler society and often expressed a deep yearning for the life she had left behind. She had been so thoroughly integrated into her adoptive tribe that she could not find peace in her former life. The stories of women like Olive Oatman and Cynthia Ann Parker reveal the emotional and psychological complexities of captivity. For many, the experience was far from merely one of victimhood. Women who were captured and adopted by Native American tribes often formed strong emotional bonds with their new families and communities. In some cases, these women resisted returning to European society, which they viewed as less nurturing and more rigid than the Native American societies they had come to know. Conclusion: a complex legacy. The treatment of women captives by Native American tribes during the colonial period of American history is a testament to the complexity and diversity of Native American cultures. While the fate of captives was often grim, many women who were captured found new lives, sometimes with greater dignity and respect than they had known before. These stories challenge the conventional narratives of victimhood and oppression, offering a more nuanced understanding of the ways in which Native American societies interacted with outsiders and treated those within their communities. The fate of captive women highlights the different attitudes toward captivity, integration, and human dignity that existed among Native American tribes compared to the often brutal practices of European colonists. By exploring these stories, we gain a fuller understanding of the past, one that emphasizes the agency, resilience, and humanity of the women who experienced these traumatic events. History is filled with stories that challenge our understanding, and it's important we face them head-on. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, stay curious and join us for the next chapter in history.